Hello guys and welcome to Painting Panzers. Today I've got a book review for the Liberation of Italy, Forces on the Southern Front 1944 to 1945 by the team at Battlefront for the gaming system Flames of War. Now I love Flames of War, as you probably already know. The channel started by painting Flames of War, so they've been kind enough to send me this PDF and I'm going to go through it just to have a quick look. There's about 30 odd pages or slides we're going to look at now, so it's a little bit different to my normal format, but we're going to take a look inside of the book and I'm just going to pick out a few pages that really catch my eye and just give you a sort of glimpse as to what you can expect. The book is 240 odd pages in length, so it is really a big book and one worth grabbing if you're an enthusiast of Flames of War, obviously, as well as the Italian front. But enough of all of this, let's get stuck in to the video. So the first page that greets you is the contents page, obviously, or what's going to be green is on this slide at least anyway, and we're going to be looking at the Germans. That's the first thing you're going to see. And you can see on here that there is a mixture of different units and companies and such you can take. So we've got the big tank companies, you've got your Hermann Göring Fallschirm Panzer Division, you've got looted Stug assault gun company, so that's the Italian assault guns, your typical armored Panzer Grenadiers and your Panzer Grenadiers infantry divisions and such. Moving on, we've got the Italians. So this is the Italian Social Republic. So these are the allies of the Germans. So the Italian fascist RSI forces. So that's an infantry company. Plus, the parachute division, as well as some support units within that. Then we've obviously got the Allies side, so we've got the Americans, and that's made up of your Sherman tank companies, Stuart tank companies, your Recce tank companies, infantry divisions, and there's a whole lot of infantry divisions to pick from, Rangers and the Parachute Infantry Regiment, which is really cool. I'm glad they included that one. And then they've got the French, which is a really nice new addition, along with the Italians. That was a bit of an unexpected addition. Obviously you'd expect it in there, but it was nice of them to include it. They could have easily have left the French out, and that includes a few different French divisions. I've tried pronouncing, I should say, these different French units, and I just can't do it. I honestly sat in front of the computer for 10 minutes and I just sound awful. So you guys know what I'm talking about. But we've got your infantry there, as well as the guys in their pajamas. No, I'm not saying that's rude, but they're in really cool looking uniforms, as well as their support units. Then we've got the British, which is pretty much, there's nothing too drastic with the British, and I'm going to say British lightly. There's obviously the Commonwealth in there as well, so your Kiwis, your South Africans, and Aussies, all of that kind of good stuff. But for now, we're just going to call them the British because that's what Flames of War have put them on as. And then we've got the Italians, so the Italian Liberation Corps. So they are obviously allied to the Allies. That makes sense. And then we've got a whole lot of different rifle companies. Pretty much the same sort of mixture as the Italians, but on the German side of things. Now, the great thing about Flames of War books, if you're unfamiliar and you're just getting into the hobby and you're really interested in the Italian front, the great thing about Flames of War books, especially these big fat hardback ones, they're full of beautiful details and maps and such. And this is just a little snippet of what you can expect inside of it. I know tons of research is put into all of this, and a lot of people in the community help support this process in making the book. So yeah, well worth getting it just for the eye candy and the historical information. Now we're going to take a look at the Germans. We're just going to follow the contents, obviously, so in order. So you've got a bit of a breakdown here of what you can expect from the Italian German force. Now this is page 1 of 2. So these are the Panzer formations. You see you've got your big Tigers, you've got your Panthers, and you've got your Panzers, along with their supporting infantry and light tanks. And then we've got a whole breakdown of support units. Now a lot of this is pretty much exactly what you're going to get from other books anyway. Nothing has really changed. Points might change ever so slightly, obviously ratings and such, but for the most part, most of it's very similar. And then on the other page, we've got the Stug assault gun companies, I should say, the Elephant Tank Hunter Company, which is a very nice new addition, and then some of those sort of generic Grenadier companies and Fallschirmjäger Company, and then some more support units there, and you can also take some allied support and a wild card. Now, I'm going to highlight the Hermann Göring Panzer Tank Company. I think that's a really nice addition. I'm not going to show you the points in this. I'm going to blank out some parts because I don't want to reveal the entire book to you, especially if I've got 30 odd slides within this video, but it gives you a sort of taste of what you can expect. So the Hermann Göring Panzer 3 and 4 mixed tank company, so you can take Panzer 4s or 3s or a mixture of both, and then you get your sort of ratings there. So it's your typical tank ratings, but they do have a last stand of 3 and a remount of 3, which is really good for a Panzer 4 in my opinion, and the same for the Panzer 3s and the Flampanzer tank company, which I think is a really nice addition. You can take up to 7, which is really cool, especially if you're versing one of those sort of Italian or French infantry companies. That would be very interesting to take all of those Flampanzers. But yeah, just a little taste of what you can get in that Hermann Göring tank company. And another one that really caught my eye is the Looted Stug Assault Gun Company. So this is the Italian assault guns that have been put into German service. So you can see here, they've got the Stug M42 with German markings on, which is just awesome. I really do love that. You know, not the best sort of stats, but the anti-tank of 10 is actually really nice, especially when you're going up against Shermans. And then just a little bit more information here. So you've got the M43 as well as the M42 as options to take, and you can take different types of those variants of those particular assault guns. Moving on to the Italians, we've got the RSI Force. So it's got all infantry and then some support from the Germans, as well as a few other Italian support options there as well, but mainly German support. And we've got the infantry company, paratroopers, as well as the recon company, and they've got a few special rules. They're pretty much all like the German special rules, from what I can tell, as well as some other support options down the bottom there. Then we are going to take a look at just the generic infantry company. So you see the makeup of this company is you've got the infantry company HQ, 3 platoons of infantry, machine guns, mortars, and then you can take some guns, anti-tank weapons, and anti-aircraft weapons. So you've got your generic HQ, which is consisting of a Beretta SMG, and then you've got your infantry platoon. So actually looking pretty cool. They can take Panzer Shreks, and they have also got Panzer Fasts, and they can also attach a Beretta HMG to them, which is also a very nice addition. That extra roll of 6 if you're halted is really nice. And then you've got your Beretta machine guns, which are just sort of generic. The only difference with these is they're hit on 3, so they're going to be pretty easy to pick off. So if you're going to go with this, you probably want to stack up your infantry. Some of the support options here, I just like the infantry guns that are shown here. I think they look pretty cool, and also the direct fire option on the 7.5cm infantry gun is actually really nice too, so you can use that in both roles, although it's only got a direct fire of 16 inches. Now, the one thing to pick out on this page is the 6-pounder anti-tank guns. So obviously some British 6-pounders that have been captured and put into service. So that's a nice little addition, and I think it will make this infantry company actually pretty nice to use. Now, moving on to the Americans. As I said with the Germans, the American list is pretty much par for the course, as well as being very similar to other books that are already out there. But this is the sort of makeup on there. I won't go through it because, as I said, it's pretty common. There's not a whole lot in here that's going to be much different. There's a few little bits, but I'll let you pick those out. Now, the one thing I will be taking a look at is the Ranger Company, and we will take a look at that in just a moment. Now, the Rangers get some special rules. So we've got the Rangers accept no obstacles in their way. They're trained to overcome the cliffs, so of a point du hoc, to secure their objective. So obviously terrain's not going to be an option, and they can also night attack. And this is the makeup of that Ranger Company. We've got the HQ, 3 platoons as an option, 2 you have to take, and then we've got some artillery options as well. And here we go. So they're hit on 3. So again, they're going to be pretty easy to pick off, but they are fearless. They rally on a 2+, which is amazing. They assault on a 2+2, and they have a skill of 3. So that hit on a 3 is countered by the amazing stats that it's got, and it's made up in your sort of traditional sort of US way with the 7 M1 Grand Rifle teams and the 160mm mortar. You can attach a bazooka team, as well as a mortar team, and as well as a LMG team, which is probably going to be quite useful because they've only got a rate of fire of 1, which isn't the best. Then we've got the French. So again, I cannot for the life of me pronounce these two infantry formations. I'm not even going to attempt it. I was just about to. I'm not even going to attempt it. I'm just going to make an absolute fool of myself. But yeah, you guys know what they are. This particular French list is actually pretty cool. Obviously got some US vehicles and such within this list, and it's got US fighter cover or air cover as well. So this is the makeup of this particular infantry formation, and you can see it's generic in terms of its build up as all the other ones as I've suggested. Now these guys are hit on 4, but they're fearless 3, and they assault on a 3+, but they are trained, so pretty tough infantry. A lot of them as well if you want to go the full allotment of 10 rifle teams and 1 bazooka. But again, they only are rifle teams, so they've got the rate of fire of 1, halted and moving, and they're also slow firing as well. So you've got to take that into consideration. So stack up if you can with the machine gun. So you can see you can add up to 2 M1919 LMGs as well as an M1917 HMG. So you can really get a lot of firepower down with this platoon if you stack them up with those additional options. Now, the Italian-British forces, again, is very similar to other books. There's not a whole lot of new stuff in here to look at, but I have picked out a few little bits that have caught my eye. I'm a big fan of the the Sherman 76mm for Italy, the armoured troop. I was completely unaware that they were actually in Italy on the British side of things. So this is a really nice addition. It's a fantastic Sherman, and when it's matched up with the traditional sort of Sherman, this is a much better option. So yeah, it's up to you if you think that that is the case or not, but I think it's fantastic. The only difference is if you get the 76mm gun, it has no HE, so just bear that in mind. And then also the Archer anti-tank troop. I think that's awesome. I love the look of the Archer. It's a very unique looking vehicle. The actual armor on it is not the best, but it's got a fantastic 17-pounder on there, so an anti-tank of 15 and a firepower of 3+. But again, it has no HE and it is rear firing, so you do have to take all of these little nuances into account when selecting these, because they can prove to be quite fatal. Now, another couple of cool things in the British side of things is the Stankhound armoured car troop. I just love Stankhounds, and I love the fact they've included the CS option as well if you want to take it. And then we've got the PPA section, so Popsky's Private Army, and they're pretty much just made up like your sort of traditional SAS sort of unit that we've seen in the other books that have come out. And I'm assuming they'll just be using the exact same figures from what I can make out from the photo below. And then we've got the Italian CIL force, which is the Allied Italian forces in the book. Now they've got a whole lot of options to choose from in terms of their support. Not so many infantry formations, but their support is quite stacked, and they can obviously support Allied support units too. Now the rifle company is pretty good, actually. It's really good when you look at the rating. So they hit on a 4, they're confident 4, they follow on a 3, they rally on a 3, and they're trained on a 4. They're just an all-round really high force, in my opinion. I think they're actually going to be pretty tough, and they're going to really perform well on the tabletop. And you can take some American support options with these as well. So it's up to you if you want to take the Americans or if you want to take the British, because you can take them as well. So there's some fantastic sort of forces you can make up with your Italian allies, with some aviary assault sections, for example, or that crocodile flame tank platoon supporting them, because there is going to be a really tough rifle company. Now, in terms of new figures, I scanned the book. I couldn't really see anything for the Allies for the US, Brits and Germans that really stood out to me, like their new infantry molds or anything like that. But we're going to be seeing the return of the Italians as well as the French. So we don't have any new, from what I can make out, any new German Panzer Grenadiers coming out, but we are going to see the return of some of the old metal sculpts. So We already know that the Hermann Göring or the Luftwaffe Field Division troops are returning from what we've seen from the box sets online, as well as now we can confirm that the French and the Italians metals are also returning for some of those that haven't returned already, because we knew that the Italian paratroopers have already returned from what I can remember. So overall, this book is fantastic. I'm no expert on gaming. I pretty much just paint, although I did go to a tournament recently and I'll be posting a video on that shortly, or in a few weeks time at least anyway. But I hope this gives you just a little insight as to what you can expect from within the book. I don't normally do this kind of thing, so if there's something you want to see more of, let me know in the comments section. A huge thank you to the team at Battlefront, as always, for sending me out this PDF. I really appreciate it, and for also supplying the channel with some models to paint. So yeah, really fun. Get yourself the book if you're into this sort of thing, or if you just want a nice book for some eye candy, because yeah, it's just fantastic for that. But enough of me rambling on. I'm going to leave it here. Don't forget to drop me a comment below, and if you're new here, please subscribe. Alright guys, thanks a lot, and I'll catch you at the next one.